You guys have asked me this on many different occasions and I've never really given a clear answer, but today I'm going to be showing you how I build my LEGO F1 tracks. If you don't know who I am, I'm the moving bricks, and basically I recreate every single F1 race out of LEGO stop motion, and that being said, I also have to recreate the entire track. Here are just a couple examples of my work. It is currently a few days before the Qatar Grand Prix, and I'm going to work on building some of that track for the weekend. And I figured I'd take the opportunity to show you guys how I do it. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so what I first usually do is I load up Google Earth and find the part of the track that's the most straight. So as you can see looking at the track, obviously the pit straight is going to be that straight. As you can see, I've already done a little bit, but basically, obviously, straight is pretty straightforward. But you just want to put up a car down and see how wide it's going to be. And generally, just go with that. I usually make a tool so you know for reference for the entire track just how wide it's going to be. I made this section a lot wider than I usually do, as you can see, but it's okay. Then I usually connect each base plate with a 2x2 gray tile, so you can't really see it, but it helps stability and helps connect each of the base plates. Then you're going to want to take the longest pieces. Obviously, I have a ton here. And you're going to want to look for a 1x8 and just connect that and continue on the straight. Obviously, this part is really easy and straightforward, so you don't really have to worry about it. You just kind of continue the pattern and guess how long it's going to have to be, and then just continue on to turn one. Okay, so straights are easy, but then you have the corners. So basically, to make the corner gradual, you have all these different types of parts you can use. Obviously 1x1s, 1x2s, etc. And in order to make the corner, you want to use a combination of these. So with a corner like Qatar's turn 1, obviously it's not like a hard 90-degree corner, so we have to make it a lot more gradual than just something simple like a 1x1. Okay, so the inside of the track is really easy. You make the arc halfway through, and then you just make it symmetrical all the way around. But a trick I did use is right here, you go in between 2s and 1s, 2s and 1s, and then 2s to make it even more gradual. And obviously you can see it's quite a bit of a half circle. But then for the exit, obviously this is straight, but that is not. So you have to make it a different angle. As you can see, I went with 2s. And you can kind of just judge this by looking off the map and looking what it looks similar to what you have in front of you. And obviously you can also always change it. That's the best part. But once you do the inside, obviously you also have to do the outside, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay, so for the outside, you want to take your tool and you want to come over here to the middle of the arc, and that's where you want to start. And since it's the outside, obviously it's going to be a little bit wider, so I normally go to the edge of this middle piece, and I start one wider, right like that, and then I just build on. So again, on the other side, it's one wider. And then you're basically just going to do what you did here, just a little bit wider and following this arc, and just go around like that. Okay, so like I was saying, finish the outline of the track, and it pretty much matches the contour of the little tool that you made. So if we look all the way around, you get the idea. But of course, this is just one corner of the entire track. But generally, I would just follow this for the rest of the entire track. But then you have to have the details. So now if we go back to Google Earth and we start looking at the curbs, obviously you can see there's a bit of a long angle into the red and white. But at Qatar, they don't use regular red, they use a bit of a maroon color, so we're going to use that instead. As for where the curbs start, just take a look at Google Earth, look at where it is on the curve. Right before, I would say, it's like here-ish. We look at the curve itself, so that's where we're going to start. As you can see, I did 2, 2, 2, 2, just went back and forth, and I did that for the entire corner. But there's still more to do just for details on this one corner. Okay, so before I finish the details like the curves and the coloring that you guys have seen on the track, I'm going to continue to the next corner, and then I'll begin doing that. So as you can see, I started the inside of it coming out of turn 1. And once again, if you look at Google Earth, basically turn 2 is the same as turn 1, just the opposite. So you're able to copy the exact same thing you did on turn 1. Okay, so I just finished up on this section, as you can see, and I guess something I didn't touch on is when you know how you know when to make the corner. So we go back to our best friend Google Earth, and basically you just look at where the corners are relative to each other, and you kind of just eyeball it and guess. So if we look at this compared to this, I mean, you kind of get the idea. I don't know, I really just eyeball it. I know that's like terrible advice, but that's honestly what I do. I did also want to note that you have to make sure it's the same scale as to what cars you're ever using, because I'm making this a lot bigger than I normally do because I'm not actually building the entire track. I'm just doing the first couple corners. But I figure it still helps show you guys how I make it. Now for this next corner, this one up here, we can obviously see that the apex is before the apex of turn 1. So the apex turn 1, we're going to make the corner turn about here-ish, just to match up. Okay, so as I was saying, basically just follow what it looks like, just eyeball it. So as you can see, it's hard for me to explain it because like I kind of just do it and I've just become natural. So I'm trying my best, but yeah, you really just eyeball it according to what it looks like in real life. Now this corner of course is different from these two, so you can't just copy exactly the same, but you can guess what it looks like. So it follows the same pattern, goes twos, 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 then 1, 2, 1, 2, then ones, 2, 1, 2, 1, etc., and then into fours because that's what it looked like. Something I also do, which you can again use Google Earth for, is obviously this is straight, right? So you're going off of this straight line the entire time. This line is not straight, it's not a 90-degree angle. See, it's at an angle. So you can guess, oh, it's not going to be that much of an angle with a 2, but it's still angled. So you go in between and use a 4. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but that's the logic I go off of when I do it. One more thing which should be fairly self-explanatory is the entry and exit curves is pretty much just the same idea. I did just add a couple of those. Okay, and now I'm going to add the orange around this section of the track, which you can see here. So obviously it's a little bit thicker there compared to there. So this is going to be 2 wide. As you can see, it's fairly similar to curbs, whereas that's going to be 4 wide. And then per usual, just follow the reference. And then as per usual, just follow the reference and look where to put it. Okay, so I got a little bit carried away, but I did do all of the coloring on the track now, so check this out. Okay, so I'm only doing the turn 1, 2 section here, as you can see, but I used all the coloring I have to basically just follow what I see here, right? So if we look down into here, obviously the orange line pretty much outline the entire thing. And then over here we have this odd design. If you just zoom in and look at it, it's kind of like pyramids. So I kind of just did that. And you just really look at where each thing is relative to each other. So see these 2 dots? That was my thought process. I mean, that's really all I do. I feel like I'm explaining this like so bad, but I don't know how else to tell you guys. Like I kind of just look at the reference and then bring it to life in Lego. That's kind of it. Okay, so now we have to put the gravel down, and the walls, grandstands, buildings, and the pit lane entry and exit. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and palm trees. Oh, hi. Okay, so like this is what I mean. These are just Lego base plates. I don't think they actually make this color anymore, but I got knockoff ones off of Amazon. You can see there's a little bit of color difference, but you really can't tell in pictures. I also put them over there, so you get the idea. And then pit lane entry and exit, same type of idea. Based off of everything I've said this video, you're gonna find this shocking, but I just put that stuff based off of Google Earth and my reference. I feel like I've said that like 100 times now, but that's literally all I do. I just look at the reference and then I build it in Lego. Okay, so as you can see, I've now completed the walls. These are very annoying to do. As you can see, I use Jenga blocks, as you've probably seen in my other videos. But it is as simple as just looking at Google Earth and just following what it looks like. Now you do have to guess like the distance, how far this is essentially from the track, but I mean, it's pretty much just a guess and you just eyeball it. I now added this building at turn 1, which obviously looks quite complex, and it really was. I had built it ahead of time. As for stuff like this, obviously each track has its own unique buildings and stuff. You really just have to look at it and just imagine it, make it come to life. I really have no suggestions. Obviously, I mean, if you look at an actual picture, it's not perfect at all. It's just kind of what I thought looked somewhat accurate. So yeah, that's all you really have to do. But obviously, if we look at it as a whole, it is coming together. Again, I'm just doing this section, so I'm ending the track right there. But it is coming together. You can like see what's happening. So now we're going to do the grandstands. So similar to that building, I already have these all built and all the people in them. If you want to look at like my design, it's pretty simple. It's pretty much just a stair step of gray. That's really it. And then I just have supports holding it up so it stands a little higher. That's really it. And in the back, I mean, some of these you can see it's just random colors. It's really just to support it. That's really all I do. It's just basically stairs. As for where to put them, I basically just look at the F1 ticket site and look at where the grandstands are that you can buy tickets for, and I just put them there accordingly. So you can see, obviously I put some here, but then everything else is just along this main straight because that's really how Qatar is. I also did this fun GA section, which you'll probably see on the onboards. It's really simple. It's just green base plates and then white 1x4s for the like staircases, and then I just put people on it. And these are all just supported by little boxes essentially, which obviously you can't see because you only see the front of it. And believe it or not, that's really it. I'm sure you guys probably have a lot of questions that I didn't answer in this, so comment down below and I'll try to respond to a lot of comments. But that's really all I do. You guys have been asking for this one for a while. I figured I would try to film something for you. I know it wasn't super helpful. I basically just told you to look at a reference, but that's really all I do, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. So again, drop your comments down below. I'll try to respond to some, but yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be filming some stop motion this weekend, so look out for it. Yeah. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where everything is going down now. Instagram is definitely my main platform. Go check me out over there. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.